Hello, this is Miss Jackson. I'm going to make a video covering the day 9 assignment that's being sent home as extra practice. We'll start here at the top. It says determine the unknown value, enter your answer in each box. The first one is 50 divided by some number equals 5. We have sort of talked a little bit about how to relate multiplication to division. We're really going to talk about that towards the end of this week, around maybe the 8th. That's when we'll start having like the formal lessons on it. But we have talked about it in class. By the time we get to day 9, then the full-on lessons will be about how to turn division into multiplication and vice versa. And so the way we do that is pretty much you take the division sentence and you flip it backwards and change the sign. So 50 divided by something equals 5 would flip into 5 times something equals 50. So we just have to determine what number do we multiply 5 by to get to 50. Well, 5 is a great factor because we can count by 5, and however many times we have to do that to get to 50 is going to be the answer that goes in the blank. So, and I'll just write it up here as a skip counting thing. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. I counted by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and that gave me a total of 50. So in this blank, what's going to go there is 10. 50 divided by 10 is 5. And we could prove that with a model. We could take 5 groups. We could put 10 objects in each group. Once we add up all of the objects in the groups, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And that just reaffirms that 50 divided by 10 is 5. We could also do 10 groups and put 5 objects in each group and then count that by 5 10 times. Let me erase all of that. The next problem we have is something divided by 4 equals 9. Well, we could flip that also into multiplication, and it just goes completely backwards. 9 times 4 equals something. Well, if I have 9 4 times, I could skip count it. 9, 18, 27, 36. So 9 times 4 is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Let's get down to number 4. It says the school librarian took 60 magazines and arranged them into stacks of 6. There are the same number of magazines in each stack. Which equation can be used to find the number of magazines in each stack? Well, maybe the first thing I need to figure out is what is 60 divided by 6? I know if I flip that to multiplication, it would be something times 6 equals 60. And if I'm not real sure, because we haven't learned all of the multiplication facts yet, then what I could do, there's several things we could do, and I'll look at a couple of them here. You could make 6 groups, and then put dots in there, counting until you get to 60. And once you do, you carefully count how many dots are in a group, and that's going to be your answer. And that works okay if your total number is not sky high. 60 starts to get a little bit high. It's still in the range of doable, but it could be a little bit much, and then our dots could become a mess. You have to be very careful with your dots. Another thing we could do is skip count by 6 and see how many times we have to do that to get to 60. So let's see if I can do that down here carefully. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. What comes next, Miss Jackson? Probably 42. 6 more would be 48. And there is, I think, 54. Let's hope. And from there is 60. Now, how many times did I have to count by 6 to get to 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times 6 is 60. 60 divided by 6 is 10. Let's look at our answer choices because there's ways to eliminate answer choices here by looking what they give us. A says 60 divided by 6 is 54. Well, I know I have stacks of 6. If I had 54 stacks of 6, that is going to be way more than 60. So that's not even a reasonable answer. B says 10 times 6 is 60. That matches the multiplication sentence we eventually got to. That could work. C is 6 plus 6 is 66. Well, 66, 6 stacks of 66 is going to be way more than 60. It's already more than 60 on its own. So that can't be it. Lastly, D, 10 plus 6 is 16. Well, if I have 16 stacks of 6, I'm going to have way more than 60 things. So that only leaves us with one possible answer. 10 times 6 is 60. There are a lot of strategies that we could use to find the answer for this. I'm trying not to throw every strategy at the kids at one time because that is a little bit overwhelming. I'm trying to show them just a couple of things at a time, and then eventually each kid will hopefully find a strategy that works best for them. So I would start with either the dots and groups or skip counting. Okay, question number, let's scooch down to 7, because 5 and 6 are going to pretty much be the same as 4. 7 says, and I want to go over this one because it looks weird. And when the kids see it, we've went over it several times recently, but it still kind of throws them off. It says the question has 2 parts. The number 495 rounded to the nearest 100 is 7 because 8. That doesn't make sense. What that means is what's going to go in this blank comes from problem 7. What's going to come from into this blank will come from problem 8. So the number 495 rounds to the nearest 100. Well, I know if I round 495 to the nearest 100, it's going to round to 500. And the reason why is either 4 is in the hundreds place. No, that's not it. Because if the number was 412, that would round down to 400. That has a 4 in the hundreds place, so that's not a true thing. Or B, the 9 in the tens place bumps the 4 up a value. That is true. We typically look at putting it on the number line and rounding it like that, but just process of elimination gets us to B. So this would read, the number 495 rounded to the nearest 100 is 500 because the 9 in the tens place bumps the 4 up a value. Okay, that is going to be it for this lesson. I think I'm going to stop there. If you have, let's see, if you have any other questions, please let me know. This is the extra practice I'm sending home. You can get also on, if you have internet access and a device of any kind, get onto IXL. They can go into math and section, I believe it's U, is the division section. And on there, I think the very last option in section U are going to be the word problems, so you might want to practice those. I would also highly suggest anytime you're doing a division problem to just figure out what would the multiplication sentence be that corresponds to that, so that we can continue embedding that relationship between division and multiplication as often as possible. Because division, it's tricky. I mean, the kids find it overwhelming. It's pretty much completely new to them. Multiplication, because it's related to addition, it is addition, repeated addition, they tend to take to that sooner. So if we can take division and turn it into multiplication, it typically makes it easier for the kids to solve the problem. Now, as we learn more multiplication facts, it will make that even easier. We're kind of just beginning multiplication facts, so it makes things just a little bit more tricky. We certainly have to do a little bit more work with it, but that is okay. All right, that is it for this video. Please let me know if you have